and see if it goes back up. But okay. So yeah, my drive's low. All my computers are just into in bad shape right now, apparently. But no, what happened? I opened it up from my backpack, and it just had condensation all across the keyboard, which is never a good sign, you know. And
Yeah.
I'm like, because I mean, it's humid in fucking Houston, man, you know. And so I wasn't expecting it to do anything weird, you know, up there. But I guess I left it running in my backpack, but I opened it up and I literally had to go whoosh and condensation.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I knew it was bad. But basically, what the keys that are out, my left and my right keys are out. My return key is out. My basically that part of the matrix, like when you break a keyboard up into your matrix.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. This was trying to record locally, and it's like you don't have any fucking space. Okay. Um, yeah, but what's weird and why I think this is what's going on. If I hold my forward whack and then hit the right shift key, it registers. But if I don't hit another key, if I just hit the shift key, the right shift,
Yeah.
it doesn't register.
Well, it's probably like kind of faking that capacitance or that grid, that resistance.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
It's that
Faking.
matrix. Basically, it's where you're having to fake double key presses, you know, or yeah. And so I was looking at it, and basically, yeah, you have a top and a bottom of these devices, and the bottom has, or I guess the top has the keyboard. Now the touch screen comes off, or the magic touchpad or whatever, and that's good. You know that still works. I reassembled everything, and um, I think it works better than it did when I disassembled it, and I only had two
Yeah.
spare parts. So I don't know what they were. So,
Yeah.
um, but you have to get the batteries, like the top chassis, the keyboard, like all of that, and it's like 500 bones, man.
I thought that was kind of pricey for that. You know what I mean? It's like a whole other like shitty laptop that you could buy for five
I
hundred
know.
bucks.
Well, and I've got better laptops than that. I've got some ThinkPad like
Yeah.
X1 carbons over here. You know, I mean, but I like my Mac. I like that little thing. I kind of got hooked on it, man. So I don't know. I really don't know what to do because this was the 13-inch, and it was right when they came out with the M1s, and I really do like it. It's small, but I could throw it out to
Yeah.
an external monitor or whatnot. Um, I did replace my cushions,
Yeah.
um, so I'm quite pleased with that. They wear out rather quickly on these things, so. With the Frodobots, I've been like I said, I got those cables in for the Bus Pirate, and so I can monitor things. I've been writing up just some macros so you can kind of like one button press and it goes in, you know, sets it up, and because you could script
That's
that pretty easily, I think.
it needs a little bit of love. That you got to set up all your macros, and otherwise, it's going to take you forever to maneuver through the menu.
Well, you get used to it pretty quickly. I got my macros set up on this thing, but then I'm like, whoa, wait, okay, now, okay, but I need to do UART, and I just wasn't really ready to do that on my phone. You know, I kind of wanted it on my machine to do the UART monitoring. But I don't know. It was interesting some of that talk today about the BLE bridge or remote like setup that we'd kind of talked about. Um,
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways. Listen, it's just it's like inevitable that this is going to be necessary. Like it's like necessary now to have something, where you could be able to have kind of BLE exist and bridge and gateway between the networks, and it's like the next step. It should already be here.
I know, I know. There's a lot of things that should already be here, and part of that is just like monitoring of a gateway remotely. That's
Yeah, I mean, I just think kind of like that in and of itself would make it just part of a building block in a huge framework, and from there, I think it would draw more people and get the attention that it needs.
Well, the problem is, man, and the problem that we've seen with schools, even, is you can't expect a company or a school to okay a device that really gives you no control over it. The IT department just isn't, not going to fly, man, you know? Um, I don't know.
Yeah. So in that sense, it could establish a little bit more control or tracking, at least, of the devices. At least you can monitor them. But
It was just such a black box because of the gaming that was going on,
yeah, yeah,
and so, I don't know. I got these little remotes
I
for the
do.
Frodobots that were being talked about, um, and I'm
BLE bridging, doing that through a web serial is, that.
I think you can do it, man. And I was testing out on this. Just I mean, I mean, kind of playing around with some firmware on that.
But when you think about it, just because it goes through BLE through UART, to serial, like web to serial. I mean, web to serial is kind of cool, but why shouldn't it be like other protocols? Like, why isn't there like a UDP protocol that you could just do it, and have like a dedicated port, or just I don't know. It just seems like
Yeah,
that would be kind of a little bit better alternative, than just web serial is cool, but not
yeah,
always do you have space, and it might be some other, maybe you send it through, SSH, or you send it through some other type of protocol, but that should exist as well too.
you could do
That's
both, and as long as you're not timing out, it shouldn't care and shouldn't really. I mean, you should be able to tunnel, and oh man, I've been fucking around with like DNS exfiltrations lately. Um,
yeah.
yeah, it's neat stuff, I mean, it's not really new stuff, but it's neat, Um, hmm.
So what are you gonna what's the main goal with that? Just learning, or you have something you're trying to figure out?
Well, I've been playing around with those OMG cables again,
Oh,
and
okay.
um, kind of looking at doing like reverse shells on Android.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's kind of what I was kind of messing around with them there, but I don't know. It's interesting because you can really let that. I mean, at a number of hotels I've been to, it works. You can get data out over DNS because they're like, yeah, it's DNS, yeah, fuck it, So there was a write up recently that was interesting on basically war driving and like pushing back SSIDs from war driving over DNS. It was interesting. Uh
Yeah. 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 Like hotels, they are like, yeah, they're usually, yeah. If you're war mapping like with Kismet, and you're trying to pick up a bunch of hotspots, just drive through a hotel parking lot. it's it's yeah. They're gonna get a lot of. They don't only be transient ones, but yeah, it's kind of like being at a train station and sniffing.
hmm. Oh yeah. Speaking of, uh, well, there's a lot of room in those Frodobots, man, and I was kind of trying to decide what should go in there. I think a charger should. If you're just gonna let the thing kind of roam about somewhere, um,
Yeah.
people are going to see a barrel jack, but it's under there, and I just want to limit someone throwing bad power at it. Just have a little tail that's on one of those kind of retractable, spring-loaded,
Yep.
carriers, and they can plug it into AC, and then the lights on the front should, tell them when it's done, and it won't let you overcharge. So,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean,
that
I was just,
was a lot easier than trying to do something else, non-contact or, without a plug, like some sort of wireless type of solution. But yeah, yeah, I like that. That's pretty easy. Everybody has an AC plug. So
Well, when I was out driving the other day, I was broadcasting part of that, but I came across it had just really really stormed here, right? And I was on this jogging trail, and there was just it looked like a lake, and I'm just like,
mm,
fuck it, let's go, and just plowed ahead through it. I mean, if you do have charging contacts on the bottom, I mean, you're gonna want diodes, or I mean, you're gonna want something so.
yeah, the cross shorts. Yep, yep.
But hey, it trucked on through there, man. Um,
Yeah,
And really, there's no sealant around those plates. I don't think. Um, and so I'm about to just do some of that spray on, coating,
yeah.
and just kind of block off pins, and then shoot a few layers of that on it. And I've had
Yeah,
good luck with it in the past.
I got the carbon fiber contact paper.
I
So
saw that. That looks cool, man. That looks cool. Um,
it'll carbon fiber, and
Do you
yeah,
know anything about electric mobility vehicles, like not scooters, but like motorized chairs? I guess is what I'm kind of looking at. I thought I'd ask,
like
like
motorized chair.
electric wheelchair type things, but for mobility assistance.
Yeah. The there was like the big thing was like always getting up and down stairs.
Well, yeah, yeah,
And I mean his trick, because I had a buddy who did this for a while, was he came up with a pretty unique design, which was like, the rhombus, the three, like the pyramid
yeah,
style wheel.
yeah.
Um could kind of adapt, and he kind of had something good, but then some other company came out with like exactly the same type of idea that he was kind of
Segway.
working on.
Did you see the unit that they released? Um,
Yeah.
Segway
Yeah, it
had a.
wasn't, but he was like, yeah, yeah, that's their new model. But
Gotcha. Yeah.
yeah, talk about that. That was the big holy grail of like, assisted like wheelchairs or, mobility devices, whatever it is. Um, make them climb stairs with ease, then that's the king right there.
Yeah. You still messing with Meshtastic?
Little bit. I always have a couple things flash
Yeah.
with it. Uh, I had it for the longest time. I just took it off like probably about like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I had it hooked up to one of my antennas that's like at 26 feet. So it would pick up other people. Like all the time, you would see like at least one or two people within range, in the list. So on the main public area.
Cool.
But
Yeah, that's
yeah,
cool.
I had. Well, and then I was like, I was out there and I was just cleaning the garage, and I'm like, I don't even use this. Let me put this back on here, and I kind of took it out of the situation, so it's sitting here on the desk right now. But it's always ready if I need it. You know.
I want to add a GPS. I got it all wired in, but I don't actually have it in on the T Dex right now. But I did get it running on these things, and that was just straight with their web install, man.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. The GPS is kind of it's pretty much necessary. The only people who don't want GPS are like some paranoid, or I'm not sure what they're really going to be using Meshtastic for. You know what I mean?
Well, but it depends. If I'm binding it to the Meshtastic app on my phone, I've got
Yeah.
GPS. I
Yeah.
mean,
that's the thing. I'm like, you got an app on your phone, you're interfacing with it. Yeah, you know, yeah, it's already attached to you anyways in more ways than one.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a lot of new work has been going into that attack Meshtastic integration, which is cool. Because for a
Yeah,
while there, you had to use an older version, and you couldn't like update. You had to kind of, you know, the dance. Like, yeah,
but
um,
yeah, I used the old version there for a little bit, and it was pretty cool. Like you could assign groups and patrols, and like it had
yeah.
all the tactical names of things in there, and I'm like, oh, that is, but looks like well organized.
Man, what I love about it is I can literally point it at a house and say there, and it will do a reverse lookup. It will give me the address of that house and the location that I'm looking at.
Yeah, yeah,
Not where I'm at, and that's cool, man. That's neat.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. They showed like depends on they had assigned roles to different people, so
yeah.
like you could that guy's part of the canine unit, and this guy's part of whatever unit. But yeah,
Or this is a part of another group that we're coordinating with,
another
but I usually don't interface with them. You know, I mean, this could be just a completely separate, especially for like first responder situations. Um,
yeah. There's something over there. Don't go over there.
um, but yeah, man, my wife just bought out these little cases at Michael's, and these are
Oh,
just they're lockable. You know, just neat little
yeah.
tiny cases. You know. Stackable. But you get a pack of 3 of these for like $1. So
Wow.
yeah, and then if you, they're not made for this, but they also have these,
Oh yeah, those are fun. Yeah.
and you can fit 2 of them in each one of these, like 2 of those small ones. They're kind. I mean, you can almost, they will latch. They'll latch. But
So you got containers, and then you can put it in a bigger container.
yes, all the way down, all the way down. It's turtles, man. Um, And then
to
these things, which if you don't have these, they're awesome. It's just like peel Velcro cable ties.
I got a Velcro box.
Okay, yeah,
I
okay.
cigar boxes. I got all the used boxes, all the extra boxes from the cigar shop, and sometimes they
Oh,
charge me. Usually they're like $1 a piece. So
wow.
yeah, I got well dozens and dozens of cigar boxes. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say motherfucking banjos, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Right shape for like a Tennessee flat top box or something like that. I mean
Yeah,
they're that nice shape, but and then some of them are like still like it's really nice wood. I'm
yeah.
like if it needed some. This is well cured, nice pine or
Or
oak or they
cedar,
have.
or I love cedar boxes, man. Um,
Yeah,
hey, question. What do we do with these, man? I mean, I know what everyone gets them for. I mean, these screens. This is just on a little Pi Zero W, right?
yeah.
Um, and this is for one of the Oniguchi's.
When that screen does that, I don't know how to
Oh no
recover it.
no no no!
I
The screen's fine. It's just doesn't have any power. There's no battery in it. So yeah, if I power it, it'll be fine.
clear it
Um,
back up.
but I was just saying for these screens, it seems like almost everything for this format, like on a Pi Zero W, is for the Oniguchi, or for those little Wi-Fi hacking devices. But they're cool little like e-ink screens, and you can flatten those. I mean, what I did here, you can see I pulled like the pin, like the headers off of the screen, and just smushed that. So that's pretty much as flat as you can get it.
Up
But
against, yep,
I mean, there's no
yep,
battery there, but I mean, it's flat. I've got another one that uses one of those sugar pie or pie sugars, I
yep,
think. That
yeah.
has the little kind of regulated UPS on the bottom of it.
Yep. They're really nice. They're well built. The pie sugars. They have that.
They
They
are.
have the pogo for the power contacts.
Yeah. And the
And
magnet that like clicks it into place.
all magnetic and stuff, you know. So
Yeah.
yeah, but
They are pricey. I mean,
yeah,
you know, yeah, they are a little
yeah.
expensive, but they're nice. Um, so, um, hmm. Yeah, I'm excited for you to get that Frotobot. Um, I
I think it'll
think
be.
I think what I could do, and I spoke with someone over there at Frodobots, and I believe I can give you my what my NFT, right?
Yeah,
And then with that, you can claim my bot, and then it will give you control. But there was kind of a weird wording when they responded. They said, "But you will never be able to. You won't be able to control it again." But I think he meant unless you give the NFT back to me.
yeah.
Wish we had message. Yeah, 2013. Um, Meshtastic, I mean, it's kind of been on fire lately. I mean, it's been getting, and what's awesome, I don't know if you watch the Ham Radio Show. It's, I don't know, I post about it a lot. It's a great show,
I,
and just a lot of fun.
yeah, yeah. He does a lot with it. I mean, it's
He's
actually
yeah.
recently, I'd say in the last 6 to 9 months, it's really kind of gotten a lot of attention.
I think a lot of that, really, like having that flash, that web flasher works so seamlessly, has really, picked up a lot of kind of low hanging users. Gotten a lot of new users onboarded with it. And if you just look at the drop down on the number of boards it supports, I mean, it's pretty
But
slick. Um,
yeah,
what up?
about the time that the deck was when all of a sudden it was like they had like only 7 devices, and the next thing you look, it's like they had 20 devices that they supported. And it was probably I gotta say almost like last November or probably maybe even last September that they had that update. Yeah,
Um, I've been, and a lot more people are getting into the S3s, you know, and those S3s cover, a lot of different devices. And so, yeah, I do want to get back to those dongles, those little Liligo dongles, which I'm a huge fan of. I just, I don't know. I'm really trying to find a good use case for them. Um,
yeah. I see them as some as crazy as like a rubber ducky, but for a good purpose. You know, something like that is the way. I mean, that they work really well in that function as a rubber ducky, but like put it to use to do something that you just don't want to have to do, or that is going to take a lot of distribute keys. I don't know, something like that. Yeah,
Well, and I like the idea of being able to use a QR code and display a dynamically generated QR code on that screen. I think I want to get like a little proof of concept going that goes through that workflow. Um, yeah, Joe. Okay, so, what is the station G2? I'm out of the loop there. Um, do you see this on the screen, Jason?
yeah. Station.
Okay.
I don't know.
Let me see if I can get something working over here. See if that works. All the pre-pack. Oh, I've noticed a lot of those are sold out. Yeah. And I'm not a big fan of Heltex. I don't like part of the policy behind them, where you have to kind of, I guess, register or authorize them. And I mean, I've got a number of them. I've used them before in Telegram a few days ago. Yes. Okay. I didn't know that's what it was called. I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yes. Okay. Those stations are cool. And what they are, if you go and look at the Meshtastic site, they have kind of a rundown. On the left, you select the different boards, select that station. Yeah, those are cool. I don't know outside of that much about them really, but that looked clean. I don't know if that was like an in device. Yeah, cool. Or if you printed that, or how people are doing that, but it looked very nice. I was at this event in New York the other day, and it was the Smart City Expo event, and was at a booth with Betty from over at Seed, and they have this new device with the Watcher. I probably got that name wrong, but it's like an AI type observation. The Observer. I'm killing that name, but
Hmm.
not in a good way. But it's like
Yeah.
an AI observational camera type device. And I
Okay.
know we've talked about these things, these R1s, a little bit lately,
The
and
rabbits. Yeah.
the Rabbit R1s, yeah. And I've really tried to get the thing working, and I mean, I connected all of the different, I guess, services. You have DoorDash. That hasn't worked for me. I haven't tried the Uber on it because I don't go anywhere. But the Spotify has kind of a chunky interface, but it does work, and it does allow me to control Spotify on like Alexas or whatever devices I'm playing on in the house. Um, and then it has the. I always keep thinking Joy Division. That's not what it is, though. It's the where you can. It will create an image from a text description,
Okay.
and it's not Joy Division, but
Oh, the Meshtastic G2 on Tindy
bizarre,
and
something bizarre. Um,
yeah, are. Okay.
no, what were you
I'm
saying?
just
Sorry.
looking at the Meshtastic G2 on Tindy. I mean, you can actually it's an ESP32S3 based
Yeah.
device. Yeah, and it's basically the bulk of it. There's the core. So it has a few
S
other little
threes are
features.
rad, dude. I mean, that's what those
Yeah,
fucking dongles have. Those run on
exactly.
S3s, man.
That's about all you really need. You know.
You
Yep.
were talking about
The
matter
dong-
earlier today. What do you got going on? What's up with matter? Because I'm interested here.
What's up with Matter?
Yeah, because because those new ESP32s support matter. Um,
Yeah,
are you doing anything actively, or are you what are you looking at
I
there?
like a little bit of like a thread Matter, like a deep dive. All of them, just like hook up like 6 devices and then see how they play around and how easy it is to get them going. But
Yeah.
um, I have a bunch of the S3 with the cameras, so I could use some of those to test it out. But I need to do a deep dive into that whole mesh technology way. Um, I just like the concept. The last time I did anything with it was really with the NRF development kit, a 52840 development kit. And
Yeah.
that's two things that let you create the Matter gateway. Then you could onboard Bluetooth devices. Then you could see them on your Amazon Alexa. So I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty cool. You know what I mean? It was pretty easy with the Nordic device.
I'm
Yeah,
a big thread fan, or an open thread.
that's the last thing with Matter, and that was just like that, and it was really just an example program from the Nordic toolkit, and it was pretty simple. It was a Matter bridge, and you could Bluetooth connect to it, and then
Yeah.
it could associate with your Alexa. Then You could
Yep.
push apps right to Alexa, or functionality right to Alexa, and control the
Um,
Bluetooth.
I did a little work. These are the 13 or the CC 1350s Launchpad by TI, and I have these set up. And then there's the 52s, and these basically all of these are set up with some Raspberry Pi like border routers for Open Thread. But all these damn little device. Okay, now this is the developer board that kind of clicks on here, but this is a CC 2650, and this is the dev
Yep.
board that snaps on top of it, right?
Okay. So
And
that's TI. That's
this is
TI's
TI,
version.
but look what's at the bottom there. You recognize that format?
The the curvy lines, that's microwave. The curvy traces you're talking about?
No, no, those are Grove ports.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or pads that you can,
Yeah.
yeah. Just saying.
The growth.
Um,
Well, growth changes functionality, but for the phone, yeah. Okay. Yep. Two wires plus power and ground.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
but be very cognizant of which wires are which, because I know some companies have kind of fouled that up.
Okay.
And,
They mix them up, but yeah, it's yeah, it's two wires, two sensing wires, and then power and ground.
but yeah, I mean, I really I love TI. I've been a fan of TI for a long time, and
Yeah, that other one that I saw. Oh, I can't remember, like the TI 33 something or 52. There's a couple like even more advanced models than that. Then there's the old CC 1101. That's a good favorite. That's the
yeah.
cheap thing that's in toy RF controller.
I mean, I've got 1350s here.
Yep.
I've got 2650s, and these are just their
See,
little.
you could be like a technical sales TI. Got like a
Right,
flavor of
right.
it.
No, no, no. I grew up in the Panhandle, and there was a big, TI,
Yeah.
installation up there. And so when I actually, this was interesting, or I thought it was, um, U.S. First is as it used to be called. Now I believe it's just called First, but I was involved in the first year that they had that, and just this year, two of my nephews they were at State here in Houston, and it's a lot different now. They had like cheerleading sections and like Go Robotics, and I'm like, holy shit, it's a lot different. But it's incredible to see so much, effort and work going into STEM education, in the schooling systems. So,
Well, especially where is that? That's up in Plano, mostly. Like, you know, that that's up there, Panhandle, right? I'm not familiar with
no, no,
Texas too
no.
much.
That's Dallas. I'm talking like Lubbock, Texas, like up
Yeah,
way up in the yeah. Yeah.
yeah. There's not that many people up there, so they got to train them so they can work at TI.
Well, I mean, TI was and that was back in the day, and my first real computer was a TI 99 4A, and
Exactly.
they were rad little computer. I had the 5 1/4 inch floppy. I had the cassette deck audio, like
Yep.
drive on it, which was just a modem that recorded onto cassette tape. I mean, just
Was it a handset modem where the two cups kind of like
um,
the phone to the
yeah,
cup?
where you literally
Like,
had to put the phone on. Yeah. Parsec. Oh, speaking of old games, check that. Remember Lunar Lander?
oh yeah.
I had to try to wear some type of ship, but see, this is actually if you notice, that's not the lunar lander there. That's
No, what's that?
if anyone is science fiction fans, you may recognize that ship. But anyway, um, I,
Yeah.
I, I wanted to wear a space shirt because you're always rocking your Star Wars stuff on here, man.
Yeah,
Um,
Star Wars. think I've worn the Star Wars shirt like a couple times on this show. It just kind of seems like maybe it's a Sunday shirt or just kind of yeah.
Sunday shirts are great, man.
Yeah.
Sunday shirts are great.
I forgot it was Sunday. I was like, this weekend's got me screwed up. I'm like, at first earlier this week, I didn't even realize we had Monday off, and then now I realized I got Monday off, and it seems like it should be like something.
Ah, Monday off. Yeah, I guess. I, yeah, well, you're in grown up work land now. So
At the straight thing. I actually go in kind of early. I usually go in, pretty early, but get out. I like to. I don't know. I wake up early, so if I can get
yeah.
it done then, oh, yep.
I always used to do that. I loved summer school when I was at university, and I would block everything 8 o'clock as early as I could through summer school. For summer school, go in,
Yeah.
get my classes done, hit a coffee shop, get all my homework done, and then just you know, uh,
Rest of the day to screw up. Oh, then it's your day. Yep.
exactly. I got one of
Like me.
these. It's an
Oh,
anchor. It's like a big
how
honking anchor unit.
that's small for how much it has in there. That's 30 hours. You
20. It's
said
20 amp
20.
hours. But it has a wireless dock that it charges on, and if you use these in conjunction, it can supposedly push 200 out. So I can
Hmm.
charge. You can charge like a MacBook from it.
Yeah.
Probably maybe once, but I mean, if you're just traveling and you need power, eh, it's not
Yeah.
bad.
It's small. Yeah. It's
Um,
really small. Yep.
it's I don't know. I wish it had feet or some type of like rubber, like skid. Yeah, I like feet on everything. You know.
Yeah. You
Uh,
can put your sticky feet on them. Yeah.
yeah, I need to get some thinner profile sticky feet. That
Yeah.
because the ones I have, I love them because once you stick them on, I could throw them in a bag and it's not
Yeah.
going to come off. But I need some lower profile ones. So,
Yeah.
um, hmm, what else? I got to play around with that new camera I got a little bit. I like it. It's neat. I'm in the market now for an XLR wireless, like I guess I don't know RX-TX unit. For mics, so you can have a lapel mic and plug it into like a little transmitter and then a little receive. This camera's got
Oh,
it's got XLR, up here, and so I'd like to be
okay.
able to just have a little, receiver there.
That's crazy. I didn't know that XLR had its own special type of port thing like that.
Well, that's what microphones use. I mean, just like a Shure 58 or something. It just has that XLR, kind of jack on them. But yeah, it's kind of a neat camera. My Varen picked it up. She was testing out some sniping program, and apparently the sniping program works well. So,
Huh.
um, yeah, I didn't know that was still a big thing. But yeah, apparently it's a good way to get a camera. So,
Hmm.
oh goodness. Oh, word up, Fordo. What is up, man? Let me see if I can paste this to him. He's been working on these instructional videos on setting up things for the crop steering. So I was
Yeah.
let's
Sure.
see.
The teaching
Oh,
thing.
here
Yep.
we go. Okay, Joe. Let me see if I can pull you in here. Hey man, give me just a sec to see if I. For some reason, this keeps switching over.
Hey, you hear me all right? Can't hear you. One moment.
Because I just muted myself for some reason. I just got excited you were coming on. I'm like, oh shit. Uh,
Yeah.
so, what's going on? Yeah, we were talking about Meshtastic. It's good to see you, man. How you been?
Good to see you too. Oh, all right. Busy with the day job, so no, I got into Meshtastic recently, and it's very interesting. Can't say I have any particular use case here, other than it's kind of like having a CB radio when you're younger, just being able to you know chat with people around you who are into something similar is very interesting.
Well, just wait for the end times. I mean, the use cases are really going to start to explode.
Yeah,
Um,
Yeah,
um,
it'll make sense in the end times. Yeah. It's like,
yeah.
how do I
So
use this? How do I use this Meshtastic thing?
well,
yeah,
it's also a good conversation starter with kids. I mean, talking about building up little radios. Where you can talk about 3D printing, you can talk about Meshtastic, you can talk about radio, you can talk. I mean, talk about the end of the world. So, lots of conversation starters there. So.
yeah. I picked up the Lily Go. It's a T Laura T3 V161, and this is it's when I started really reading into it.
Okay.
The radio on it, I believe it's 1726 or something like that. I'd have to go back and look it up. But the radio on this one's not too efficient. Um, the antenna they send you, the VisWire on it is absolutely atrocious. So I still use that one, play around with it. By a lot of people raving over the station G2, and it's kind of like a pre-built sort of board. I know you mentioned the ESP3, I think it is 32.3,
The
but
S3.
it's just sharp. S3, there you go. Yeah, it's just convenient.
That looks sharp though, and like that board you showed a moment ago has an SMA connector on it, right?
Well, if you're to look close, so you have
Yeah.
the UFO and an SMA. So
Okay.
that one, I believe this is the regular SMA. I got confused after
Yeah.
I got FloraWAN frequently common has RP SMA, but then you get a little UFO or what do they call it?
Yeah, that's what I call them, UFLs. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. UFO.
Uh,
Yep.
What
hey,
pisses me off about this one is there's like not a lot of documentation on it.
okay.
So apparently you can use the UFO for the LoRa, but it's not necessarily clear that that's the case here.
A lot of times,
So you
what you'll
really have
see
to.
is you'll have a little resistor that you have to catty corner if you want to switch between the UFL and the SMA or internal antenna. And what that is, it's the resistor base. You don't need the resistor. You just need to bridge those two pads either one way or the other, and it routes
Yeah.
it to that antenna. But you don't want both of them
It's a
active.
0 ohm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 0. Yeah, exactly. A 0 ohm.
It's a 0 ohm resistor, so it's just like a short, and it acts like a switch. So it'll switch.
But doing it that way, they can
UFL.
pick and place it. Is why I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah. That way it switches like UFL, and then it goes back to the SMA. So you could see that if you just trace back from the antenna, then you'll find like both UFL and other will go right to some resistor. And if that's the case, then depending on which one you're using, you got to make sure that you're switched right.
Just
But
get a meter and set it to continuity mode, and it just beep and follow through whichever one of those traces that.
that's
that you
the
want to
yeah,
use.
that's the weird. Not all of them do that anymore. Sometimes they just leave them shunt together, and then they just control it with other ways, with other impedance control to make sure you could have both. But yeah, that's the tricky part sometimes.
Check it, especially if it's bad documentation.
Yeah.
I'm being really fucking rude
Yeah.
here.
No,
Zeb came in.
go ahead.
And I got you up here. You're muted right now, and you don't have a camera on, and so I was trying to.
What
wait
up?
for
What
this.
up? How you
Hey,
guys doing?
what's happening, man? Doing well.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm
It's-
just hanging out. I just did those videos. Well, tried to finish up the videos for setting up. Yeah,
Excellent.
open steering. Yeah.
Do you have a
What are you
camera
guys talking
or
about?
well, here I'm trying to get this. I tore my whole setup apart when I went on this trip to take with me. If you don't have a camera, I'm going to try to change this.
Yeah, I have no camera, unfortunately,
Okay, but
today.
everyone could still hear you, right? We still have audio. Okay, perfect. Yeah. Word up, man. I just saw you hit me with a barrage of links here, and I'm assuming these are
Yeah,
video files, right?
yeah.
Rock and roll. Very cool.
Yeah.
You want to talk? We've been kind of just fucking around talking about Meshtastic, but you want to give us a little bit of a background for those who don't know about what we're talking about, what video files these are, and the projects that you're involved in.
Oh yeah. It's more open steering or openly automated. It's a crop steering platform for agriculture. It's kind of boring, but yeah, we are trying to pivot into like a more, or not pivot, but we're trying to cover more than one market and looking to get into also like just straight automation, home automation, industrial automation, stuff like that. Yeah. So I just did some videos on basically getting the system set up. It's just a little bit of Golang code, and it basically stitches together a bunch of pre-existing services like MQTT and InfluxDB.
Nice.
So we basically use MQTT for the telemetry for the sensors, and we feed InfluxDB, and then we just graph off of that. So using we use eCharts. So that's like an Apache library for graphing.
So I gotta go back here. If when someone says crop steering, um, what does that mean? I mean, that's effectively where I could say, okay, I'm going to, maybe I'm going to shock with nutrients, or I'm going to starve with nutrients in order to make a crop do something at a particular time. I mean, is that
Yeah,
um,
yeah, essentially exactly what you just said. So you would take, unfortunately, the trend in commercial agriculture is something called monocropping, and that's when you take the same crop and that's all that you grow. Um,
yeah,
so the system falls into a monocropping type of structure. It can also be used in sustainable agriculture and like permaculture, because you can break it down into zones, and it's
right,
actually like the only way to get fine control over like permaculture, because permaculture is so segregated into different, like you want other plants to play off of. Yeah, it's hard to explain in a quick video, but so basically what it does is it takes you split all your crops into a category or a zone. So you take your peas into a zone, your carrots into a zone, your cannabis into a zone, and you can tailor your grow regimen, whether it's with artificial lights or lights from the sun. You can measure the intensity of your sun, how much water you're going to need, how much water you've gotten from nature, how much water you can add
right.
artificially. Like you said, obviously controlling nutrients, nutrient density, watching soil nutrients, biomes, stuff like that. All the sky is the limit, really.
And
But
so we're
yeah,
just talking sensors like this. This is a light sensor that from seed, and so you can know what type of exposure that zone is getting, whether it is from the sun or from artificial lights, right?
correct. So, a lot of people might say, "Oh, well, why do I even need to know that?" Or what use is that for me? Um, and it's really hard to see the use without historical data. Once you start implementing these sensors and you start
Yeah,
getting a large data set to analyze, you can start making predictions about your crop size. You can start making adjustments to your growth style, and you
right,
can have professionals or artificial intelligence
right.
analyze, summarize data more easily. So you could have a professional botanist come in, and he can analyze your crop steering data opposed to the farmer's word of mouth. It just doesn't work. And it's just a real way to grow more efficiently, with less inputs, less
And higher
costs,
yields.
everything.
Feeding
Yeah,
more
and
people.
more yields.
I mean, if you just want
Yeah,
to break it down, you could feed more people. Implementing some of these techniques,
yeah.
or get them
Um,
really high or more high. So,
right, more higher, which is what we like to do.
yeah,
Well, yeah.
But yeah,
In order to like really understand where you're going with your crops year to year and like even season, you got to have to be measuring something as a metric, like and
yeah,
keeping track of that information to even know how you need to adjust. You know what I mean?
right.
You got to at least start there.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
So I'm just curious. I know Travis has worked on this type of consulting. And sorry, I didn't catch your name. What is it?
My name's Zim, or Vortal on Discord. Yeah.
Okay. Generally, who's your like customer or client when you're doing these kind of deployments? Is it small mom and pop farms, medium sized, large corporations?
I've consulted for the dozens of companies, and every company has been, unfortunately, a cannabis company. Well, not unfortunately, but every company has been a cannabis company, and they've ranged in value from $500,000 to $50 million. So
And they're all pretty
they
receptive to this sort of approach, I'd assume.
oh, they're all extremely receptive to this approach because, whether people believe it or not, the profit margin in cannabis is relatively small for the farmer, for almost everybody except for the retailer.
The retailer
Yeah, it
being,
seems.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. It's your show.
Who is the retailer?
The person that's actually licensed to sell the cannabis.
Okay.
The law is different region to region. In Maine, where I'm licensed, I'm a caregiver. I can run the gamut. I can grow the weed. I can process the weed as long as it's not a restricted processing method, and then I can sell the weed. But
Okay.
in every state, that's not the case. You need to be licensed to be a farmer or a store, or yeah.
Delaware is there, not Delaware, but I mean, I think Colorado is 25, 25, 25%. So grow is 25 value added tax, and then process is 25% value added tax, and then 25% for the retailer too. But that it varies by state by state. Yep.
Yeah, and then there's green tax on everything. Like the only way to get banked in my state, the bank takes 1% on every transaction, not a deposit, not a withdrawal, on every transaction.
But is that
They take
FDIC
1%.
covered? I mean, is that?
Yeah, it's FD. Well, they say it's FDIC covered, but I don't know that it's insured, and it's a credit union, so. But there's not many ways to get banked. It's kind of
Because I
crazy.
know FDIC wasn't covering, cannabis type ventures, even up to
Yeah,
100 grand for a long
I think
time.
I think the underwriting of the account may be privately insured.
Okay, gotcha,
Because
gotcha.
I know it's definitely insured for some amount of money. Maybe not $250,000, but
Gotcha.
yeah.
I was up at the
No, the
bank
whole
actually
banking.
the other day, dealing something with an LLC, and I had to go through a checklist of questions that they ask. Does your business engage in this, and this was Wells Fargo, and cannabis was one on there.
Oh yeah.
Cannabis or cannabis related.
Oh, they'll give you a real hard time getting an account. In Delaware, they passed the recreational bill in Delaware like 2 years ago, and it's been really held up, and it really hasn't been anything political or anything. But what the biggest thing, the latest thing, and the finishing thing that they had to do was make sure that the state banks provided a place where the people could store the revenue.
And Delaware is a big
That's part of the
yeah.
legislature. That's part of the legislature. So the legislature said, "Hey, no, you got to make sure that this is set up. Otherwise, you can't start selling."
Interesting. Well, okay.
Yep.
Yeah, that seems absolutely nuts to me because the revenue it generates for the state, and taxable. The tax here for it in Illinois is outrageous if you're going through a dispensary. But I think it was Jeff Sessions back in like 2017, 2018. There were states where it was legal to sell, and then they'd go in there, bust the distributors, bust the stores, whatever, even though in the state it was legal, but because of some law, national law, they were able to take them in. It's
And that's why you still see a lot of
unreal.
people using private security and, basically, ex-soldier or, people coming back from service, and basically because it's a cash game in a lot of this, because you can't throw to a bank without being FDIC insured. And so you're running with a lot of cash and guns. And so, I mean, I don't know. It's just, thank you, Nancy Reagan. You've done God's work there.
Yeah, I hear you.
But things are changing, and I see that every day, and I think that's good. I think that our generation, is basically saying, okay, what the fuck? I mean, this is really ridiculous, and it's basically perpetuating a drug war, especially on the Mexico border. Why do you think that still exists? It's because of our policies, and it's ridiculous. It breeds a criminal empire that we're not getting rid of, And you're not building a fucking wall between. That's not the solution, Anyway, that's my spiel. I try not to get too much into politics, online.
So,
But, it just makes me mad.
What were you guys talking about before I got here?
Meshtastic.
Huh?
Yeah.
Meshtastic. A little bit of Frodobots. Some Meshtastic. And then,
Jason, did you get your Frodobot yet?
It's coming
Did your
on
Frodobot
Wednesday. Wednesday it'll be here. DHL notified. I suck. It cleared customs today in New York, and JFK Airport clears customs. So, yep.
I feel so left out. Look at fucking this dude's table of sensors. Yo, nice coffee table, dude.
Is it just me, or does the Frodobot look like a squatty potty on wheels?
Oh my god, dude! I guess it kind of does.
Maybe a booster seat.
So there's a lot of room in this thing.
There is. You can put a lot of stowaways in there.
Yeah. So what I was gonna put the charger, because I'm gonna take this to Austin with me for consensus, and maybe just leave it there. I mean, I really wish that that we had a URL working where I could allow other people to drive it, or they could scan a QR code and drive it. But right now I have an NFT that I think I can assign over, Grey Hat Man, to you, and then you could take control of it, and then you would effectively own it, right? So it's not a good, if anyone hasn't seen one of these, you have like a back camera, you have a front camera. I've driven it online a couple times. This is not an antenna, it's just a flag, so people know it's coming down the street. But I've trucked through some water the other day, and it did okay.
People don't try to mess with it when you're driving it around.
The first time I really took it for a drive, an elderly neighbor helped it up a curb, and it was one of the sweetest things I may have ever damn seen in my life. It was just
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was heartwarming.
There you go.
And I didn't have the microphone or the speaker working, so it was just a random robot wandering around the neighborhood that she thought needed help up the curb. And I'm just like, wow. Okay. That's kind of cool, man.
Saw you on Disney, Wally.
That's funny.
But yeah, I know it's a small company who's been doing these, and actually one is apparently in a place that Jason and I were doing a little work in, or some education type work on the other side of the world, and it's kind of wild. it was wild for me to see that. You know, I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
I wonder if we know them.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I was like, Mauritius is a very, very small place.
Yeah, right, right. So, but it has the ESP32 inside of it.
Yep. Yeah, that's the motor controllers. The ESP32 is pretty much, I think that's mostly of what that does. Yeah, from what I understand so far. Just reverse engineering over chat is all I've done.
Yeah, and some people have been banging on it lately, and the company they are small, but they've been very open to what I don't know what we've been digging at. We were talking about those bus pilot
Yeah.
fives, the other day, and I've gotten that hooked up to it. It's so you can kind of monitor a lot on their board. There are a lot of breakout pins on it. There's also a USB-C port on it. I really haven't put much time into it recently, but I'm excited about it. I think
Well,
it's a
the
cool
owner
platform.
or one of the founders is in chat, and I see like we're like literally tearing the thing apart, and he's just like, "Yeah, go to it, guys. Have
Yeah,
fun."
yeah. No, they've been very cool about.
Yeah, it's been
Um,
very cool, like that he's like that open up to having people help out, and I think that he talked about making this stuff kind of open source or somewhat more, I guess, more available so that we could do improvements and stuff like that, because there's a lot of people that are willing to actually contribute, and that's the whole
yeah,
thing. So I mean, however they start that up, if they start that up in a cool fashion, then this thing could be like, it could be pretty widespread.
I was laughing so hard. Apparently, the other day, like they have a test track on the roof somewhere, right? And where you can go and drive these things. But apparently, someone's like, "What the fuck?" Someone just threw one of them off the roof, and apparently that apparently that didn't happen. I don't know. That was I don't know, but
Yeah.
it's kind of wild when you have like a live setup, or a live like community kind of social setup, and people can just go play monster truck on each other. I don't know. But I can't wait until I can share this thing. I want to put a QR code on the top. Someone can scan it, and I want to put one of these. One of the seed. One of these T1000 or one of the dev boards for it inside.
Yeah.
And so you could monitor on this. You can feed through to TrackPack, right? And so, I mean, you could do some neat things, I think.
Yeah.
But just have a QR code, so someone could take control and maybe have some accountability there. So maybe have like a token gated room that it brings them in. So they have to assign a wallet into being able to take control of the bot. I mean, I'm just, I don't know, thinking on a little bit here.
I just want to like throw some war driving stuff onto it and do a little bit of the kismet and collect some mapping information that way, and just use it. I have this horn.
And I've got those
I have this
turrets up there
loud
too, man.
horns.
I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't just have to. I mean, we can be serious.
Yeah. We can get a lot of good information. I got this beautiful horn. It's like a car alarm horn. It's 12 volts. I'll have to wire it in somehow, but I think it's going to be like some sort of like protection device for it, maybe. So that's another upgrade. And then the web RTC. I can't wait to try some Metasploit on it and see, throwing some proxies in, what other ways I can get in. It looks like it's pretty well cracked open from what I see in the thread, but yeah.
Dude,
Those are
those
like my to-do list.
what those seed indicators have a step up 12 volt on it, a 12 volt boost.
Yeah. They have
that's
because they do. They take up to like an 18 volt in or a 20
no,
volt
it steps it up internally for the backlight, I believe, on the.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, and so you've got a 12 volt line inside of there, or something.
Okay,
like,
cool. So I have inverters and stuff, so I was thinking of just throwing a little small cell battery in there and doing my own stuff off of it.
What is the battery voltage of the Frodobot?
12, I think.
It has multiple lines on it, but the actual battery, And I haven't run it all the way down. I haven't run it down more than like 95%, I believe. And I did about 3 miles that day, I think. So,
Huh?
yeah, I mean,
But it's
apparently
it's
it
a
lasts
12
for a
volt
while.
battery though.
Yeah,
It's 12 volts though.
yeah, it's on the
It's
bottom
got to
here.
be 12. I mean, I doubt it's 24, but yeah.
And
Yeah.
then like I say, I haven't spent a lot of time on it, but apparently there are encoders on each of the motors.
Yeah.
Um,
They do some encoder checking too to like verify error state, whether motor moved, and then if you moved a certain distance that you were supposed to or not move. And they had
and
issues with the scaling factors in real life a little bit because for whatever reason, but like that was throwing off some distance proximity on the map and the map overlay a little bit. And
yeah,
that was another weird thing that I saw
and
happen.
they
But
don't
anyhow,
turn correctly because they turn with tank the tread turning, and because
yeah.
it's kind of rectangular and it's trying to it goes, and so I
Yeah,
think
Right.
the motor balance, the motor control is not balanced in step. Yeah.
because if I let me show you this. Okay, I'm just turning this wheel. Okay. If I drag a wheel, if I'm gonna use like tank, like tread type turning, rather than having both going in opposite directions on each side, if I drag a wheel, a lot of times I can get a different turning output than I
Right.
can if I have all of them powered. That's what I would like to see us being able to control with the open source aspect of this that they're talking about.
Exactly. The motor control seems to be really kind of a little bit of an issue. So
I'd like to play with
yeah.
these too. I mean, but you have to completely redo your directional in order to do mecanum wheels, right? But
Okay.
that's something because I mean, if you want to, because if this is going forward, it's going to the side, right? And so if I have a
Right.
front and a rear wheel and they're both going towards each other on the inside, then I can do strafing. I can do you know, much more nimble, although not as torquey, movements.
Movements. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry about that. I was just attaching battery. So yeah, that's a.
Yeah. My phone's been getting hot as fuck lately. I don't know what it is, but it's Android, and it's been getting way too hot. So is my wife's. They're both on helium. They're both sagas. They're both I don't know. It'll drain the battery in about an hour, and
Ouch.
just be way too hot to the touch. You can't even talk on it. So I don't
That's
know what that. I'm
weird.
doing some investigation on that right now, but something's up. That's my complete report right now. Something's up, man. Yeah. Sorry, I'll figure something out there, but seems everything's breaking.
Speaking, looking at those this Pine phones, just kind of checking them out, to have
Yeah.
an extra, the phone just for kind of all the shit. Kind of just my own techie type of phone to
Someone
move,
has one.
yeah, stuff like that,
Is it Olav that has one? Someone has one. Actually,
Rock, I think Rock has one, and I was gonna post to him, check it out, see what he thought about it. Because thought he might not have the Pro.
He doesn't have the Pro. I've talked to him about it. He has the other one, but I've heard the other one may be the one you want and not the Pro.
Okay.
But yeah, talk to Rock. That's yeah, absolutely, man.
I just wanted something that wasn't Apple. I could do all my Ubuntu stuff I need to. So.
I think he likes them a lot. Zim,
Yeah.
you? I mean,
Yeah.
you probably know more than I do.
Well, they have the on for it. You can put the SX1262. So if you want to do some LoRa stuff, there's a backpack for it that fits onto the battery. It's pretty nice, and it seemed to have a lot of different stuff for just doing like debugging and diagnostics. Kind of neat little tool, Swiss Army knife almost. But yeah.
Swiss Army knife. Speaking of, I
Yeah.
gotta show something off. These.
Yeah,
This is new. This is for the Bus Pirate 5. It's just, if you see on the top, I guess there, it actually has pins that I just dropped in there, and then they're spring kind of retained. And so you can, and then I could just use like Molex cables, you know, just to connect on those, and then this just goes into the port on the side of the Bus Pirate.
because that connecting up to that like whatever 10-pin DuPont connector port on
it's
the
main
mail
one
port.
on top. Yeah, the main one, but there is another port underneath there, and I just got a big set of cables from. I mean, these are official, I guess, cables here, but they have both power and ground, like Y splitter kind of like breakouts. But this is what goes on that bottom jack there.
Oh yeah, that's the that's the IIC. It's a small. It's like called a mini IIC, I2C connector. Yep.
It doesn't lock like the other connector does, and initially I wasn't even sure if I was doing it the right way. It seems like a little.
Quick.
I was gonna break
Called the quick connect. I think it's called the quick connector. QWIC. Yeah, and there's one on your
on
the S3 dongle has one too.
Right.
So
the
you could
new
do
ones, the second version of them do. Yeah.
It's like an SWD interface that you would use for debugging, except it has like an I2C I think in there as well too, in case you need that. But it's similar to the JTAG or WD.
Yeah, and then on the ends, they're all coded out. They're all color coded out, and these are silicone like spaghetti wires. So, yeah, but I don't think it clicks in. It just you gotta make. See, it pulls out very easily. So, I don't know. Just watch. If you have big ass monkey hands like I do, just be careful. That's what my wife tells me.
I got honkers too, dude. It's not great when you're playing with electronics to be the big hand guy.
I made the mistake one time. I was like air drumming in the car, and I accidentally broke the window shield or the windshield. And my wife, she's never gonna let me live that down. I don't think.
I could thread a wire bonder with a like 50 micron hole using a 25 micron wire. I usually you got to use a scope, but once you get the feel, you don't really have to. You can just kind of.
You notice these things? Yeah. I just got these recently, and
those are nice.
they're like bifocal. I mean, I have different. I forget what they call it. Progressive like lenses. I'm gonna talk about these just for a second because it's been very kind of life changing to have these, and I love them. I got them where they tint when I'm outside, which doesn't do much good. It's not like shades or anything. But the issue is, and I'm used to leaning in close to see something, up close, but you can't do that with these. It's like a 1 foot distance that you have to, and that's where your close focus is, right?
Right.
But I could see, and it's just I won't go off on this, but it's nice. It's nice to be able to see, but still haven't worked out how I use scopes and like all the stuff I use anyway, like my magnification stuff, how it works with glasses. I guess you just don't use glasses.
Yeah, you just take them off, dude.
When you scope, take them off, because the scope's gonna correct everything you need. You know what I mean? So
Well,
if you actually adjust the focus, then yeah, you're tuning it to your eyes, and you don't need your glasses.
I have
Yep.
astigmatisms, which I think is what was causing a lot of.
Well,
Ah,
then then you got the binocular twist. If you got the astigmatism, then you'll do that. You'll set the
Okay,
one
I get
focus
you.
eye, then you'll adjust the other one. Yep.
I get you. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm learning.
I'm sorry.
I'm picking it up
Yeah.
as I go, man. Yeah. But
Microscope training. Yeah.
yeah. Oh yeah. What else, man? I'm putting up was supposed to be putting up a gateway today. I mean, it's CBRS. I don't know if we're still doing that. I guess it depends who you ask. But
I don't know. I have no
For
idea, dude. I've been on the Wi-Fi train though. Do you
yeah,
have a Wi-Fi going?
yeah, I do. But
Are you
okay,
actually connecting to it?
yeah, I mean, through this guy, I'm on.
Like right now, you're connected.
Oh, I mean, I can tell you. But,
I just mean like, do you normally use it? Because like everybody else I talk to is like, you use it at home.
Okay.
You're cheating.
Oh, okay. I don't use it at home because two things expose themselves. You have Helium Mobile that comes up as an SSID, and then you have free Helium Wi-Fi that comes up, right?
Right.
And if you do the free Helium Wi-Fi, you have to enter your email address and other stuff, and that's going to be throttled depending upon what I set the throttling to be. So I
Right.
just cleared the throttling, said I'll let my neighbors eat all they want, right? But if I try to connect just to Helium Mobile, I can't connect to it.
Really?
I'm using a Saga with I don't know. Yeah, so I just connect to my other. I've got a lot of
The free
wireless
one?
going on.
Yeah.
No, to my token ring, like to
Oh, okay.
my other stuff.
so I assume that's a wireless offload. Are they doing the offload directly through the providers, or are they doing aggregator like Orion? Would you know?
No, they're doing it directly off the provider. There's no, I don't think there's any VPN or any type of like routing between the endpoint, which is the Helium hotspot, and
Yeah.
then the provider's internet. Yeah,
No,
I've run some
I
tests.
get what you're saying, but typically, Wi-Fi offload, it's going to exit your gateway, your router, firewall, whatever, with your public IP. But for the companies to pay for the data, they have to have a way of, well, they broadcast a cert to tell the phone that this is a AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, whatever
Yeah, they're
compatible.
doing
It's
that.
hotspot. So
Right.
it's that's whether an aggregator or direct is at play. So it's direct in this case, but it's also certain locations, if they don't meet the criteria of
Yeah.
the provider, they get blacklisted or deprioritized, or certain phones that abuse it can get
Right.
deprioritized or unable to roam onto them. So it's
And
supposed to
that's
be automated.
also, I think what also this kind of falls into what you're talking about. If I have a Wi-Fi Helium internal hotspot, and I try to recase that and have it as an external or like an outdoor hotspot, the system won't let you do that apparently. There's some mechanism in place. I'm talking way out of my ass here, but it's just from what I've heard is I can't just rebox one of the internal like Wi-Fi hotspots, put it outside, and call it a day.
If you rebox it, you end up sharing obviously an outdoor hotspot's coverage because you've reboxed it and hung it as an outdoor, but you're only going to get rewarded for the indoor hotspot. It's something or other. It's basically like a what do you call it? Like a scoring thing. And the outdoor hotspots get more for it.
And you're not supposed. Yeah, right. Gotcha. And you're not supposed to, I don't know. Really, they're not encouraging people to run these at their houses, right?
Yeah, the carriers want locations where there's really congestion taking place, which is public, high foot traffic, high I don't want to say dwell time because that's a wireless thing, but high visitation time,
Right.
right? So offloading residential isn't really, it doesn't provide any value added for them.
Right. But if they wouldn't really be offloading on that for that, right? That would just be helium to my backhaul, right? That wouldn't be
But if you're
T-Mobile.
connecting the free,
No, 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 no. I'm not talking about Wi-Fi. I'm talking about if I connect like from my phone, which is on Helium Mobile. I have a Helium SIM, a physical SIM in here, right?
mhm.
It's not going to be on T-Mobile. It's going to be on Helium Mobile, because I don't know. I've got like a CBRS indoor hotspot here that I have a Wi-Fi hotspot over there,
Yeah,
and that shouldn't have to go through T-Mobile's network. I mean, because
I would assume you're correct. I don't know how they have it configured. I would assume that it's if it roams onto the Wi-Fi, then it would be considered Wi-Fi. The pass point for Helium with their cert.
I mean, it shouldn't have to touch T-Mobile because that should be all
Yeah,
the way to an IP address right there. You know?
Yo, it 100% does not touch T-Mobile. That's the entire point of T-Mobile wanting this, is that it doesn't touch T-Mobile and they get to track it. So I know for a fact T-Mobile handles none of the bandwidth that comes from Helium Mobile. The next hop from your Helium Mobile hotspot is the destination. Yeah,
So,
I don't know.
but
I get it. I get the dwell time too with mobile, and I get like wanting to serve the customer who is T-Mobile, but the customer is really the people's network, right? So the people. So it's really us that the network's for. If this thing went grand scheme, we're bigger than T-Mobile, right? Like if everybody had one in their house, like
or in
say
their
every
phone.
T-Mobile,
I mean,
right? It's just yeah, I don't know. I
yeah.
feel like everybody should set one up wherever they can get one up. The more the merrier.
Yeah.
Look how fast the IoT network grew with encouragement, and then
No
think
shit, right?
what could happen if we did that in the USA. Yeah,
And not just
I mean
USA.
it's
I
pretty
mean, this is
tight too.
because Wi-Fi. We could do Mexico. We could do. I mean, that isn't limited like CBRS is. So,
Right, right.
um,
And yo, honestly, the highest dwell time comes from homes, and like, like no matter what way you cut the cake.
I mean, were you asking if I use that Wi-Fi for my main Wi-Fi here because that would allow me to like bank off of
Yeah,
it or
like
tokenize off of
just
it?
just for your cell phone. Yeah, like
One
just
thing
for
I
getting
didn't
your home.
know, my wife and I, she bought both of us like these Saga phones, right? And
Right.
when we were driving, we were doing a road trip a while back. I don't know, going to Austin or something. And I thought that each hex had a cooldown time before someone
Right.
else could. But we both were rewarded the entire trip.
Oh yeah, dude. That I think that's because of the way that the I've noticed the same thing, but I think it's because if you cover enough hexes, you're getting credited first. Did you verify that you're like? Can you even see like exactly what hexes you're getting credited for in the history type thing?
The way it works, and I'm going to pull it up because I have not gotten rewarded and I have left my house. I went to New York last week, all right? And so it's not just I'm a homebody, but I have enable discovery mapping on, right? And then I go to
Right.
feed, and so I'm just going to scroll down on my feed. Okay, there we go. 0 out of 40, 0 out of 40, 0 out of 40.
Yeah,
And
that happened to me too.
I've been to New York. I've been to Austin. I mean, and it's just not the last
Yo,
reward I got. It doesn't even show up on my history.
uninstall
Oh, I
uninstall the
have.
mobile.
Yeah, I have. I've
Yo,
just,
that
I've
worked for me.
uninstalled. Okay, I'll try it again. Um, I don't know. Um,
Yeah, that's whack.
I thought so
That's
too,
like
man.
really whack.
I thought so too. Now, the only thing that really changed because I'm not on the group plan, which is a new thing that they rolled out, right? But I did get another card for $20 a month for that Frodobot, right? Which my wife and we both are on the $5 per month plan, right? So the Frodobot,
Right.
I guess, is more important um, than we are here. But I have to log out and log in whenever I want to go to that account. But this is on my phone on this number. I don't know. I did, however, the other day go ahead and buy one of the new Saga phones with tokens that I had earned from airdrops from this Saga. So I'm like, it'll kind of wash out, right? Why not?
Right.
But
Yeah,
man,
that's
okay.
its life. It earned its keep.
Well, here's the deal, and I guess I could talk about whatever I really fucking want now. I used to could not talk about certain things, you know.
Let it rip.
But
That's
I've been,
hilarious.
I don't know where I initially came across this, but cat with hat token. Um, it's kind of been doing crazily good. I don't know, cat WIFHAT and
Yeah.
okay. I think I
Yeah, I
can
know
share
you're
it.
you're a Hive mapper. If you have honey tokens, I know a lot of those wallets were dropped B with hat,
Okay.
which it's worth something, but those guys are a trip.
The Hive Mapper folks or the
Let's call them the Hive mapper agitators who started B with hat.
okay.
Yeah, it's like this
Yeah.
Discord with a bunch of really salty, disgruntled folks, and
I've found a couple
yeah.
of those over the years, yeah. But no, I get it. And the Hive Mapper, I've been playing with that a little bit lately, though, because they gave me one that was busted to take apart, right?
Mhm.
And I did that, and then I kind of started looking at. They're like, okay. He told me, he's like, to be honest, the one we sent you, we knew it was broken, and it really, even if you got it apart, it wasn't going to work. But it can be reset. And so I've been working, kind of on the Linux side of things to, kind of play with those images. And there's a book that a gentleman who used to work over at Helium wrote a while back, and he was on Hacks a long time ago. But it's a pretty damn good book about embedded Linux. Yocto. That's the fucking one. Yeah, there you go, man. What do you think about it?
Good so far. Do you think I have time to read all this? I mean, I love it. It's pretty neat.
It's in depth. It's very in depth, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been kind of using that as reference on some of the Hype Mapper stuff, man. So
Are you in their test group? You in their test group at all?
I don't think so.
I might have to make a recommendation. They actually just put me in it 3-4 days ago.
Oh,
But it's we fill out reports every time we have an error, and it's testing the new app software and the dashcam firmware releases before it gets pushed to the
right
public
on.
community.
That's cool. The only I don't do a whole lot of driving. Most of my driving is like going to Austin or whatnot, But if there's anything on the app side of thing that I can, like reconciling like the images from the dash cam to my Wi-Fi backhaul, or if I choose to have cellular backhaul on as well within the Hive Mapper.
Yeah, it's. I mean, you've noticed a change in how that camera is performing, right? Like, have you had GPS issues at all?
I've actually, I'm probably the wrong person to ask, because I kind of fucked my network up, and I've been doing some GPS stuff lately where I'm doing some spoofing and trying to, I mean, nothing nefarious really.
No, I know.
All my own stuff, But
Disclaimer.
yeah, well,
like when they. So I guess their thing is there's customers that said like we need like privacy to be the foremost,
Yeah.
whatever. I mean, priority. So they've made it where with their ML edge learning, it's basically processing the images, blurring out faces, cars, certain addresses, and that's all done on the camera before it's ever uploaded. So
That's on the
the
old
cameras,
ones as well.
yeah, on the
Okay.
HDCs and HDCS,
I will
and
say, when it updated the other day, I was going to the grocery store, and I was pulling. I just started the upgrade process. I pulled my hair back, and a bee stung me. And I don't know if that was related at all, but it was a pretty terrible like firmware upgrade experience.
yeah,
No, it took a long damn time too, but I guess, but I don't know. I think I'm up to date on that, and one
yeah.
the
Lately, it's not so bad, but at first, everyone was reporting GPS issues. Certain certain people with their cars, like that cigarette outlet,
no shit.
doesn't put out a it doesn't put out a consistent. I don't know what you say voltage overall. But people would plug in batteries to keep the output more consistent, so the camera wouldn't go up. Like it will restart
Yeah,
if
I didn't have that
it's
problem.
not.
My cigarette lighter or the accessory, whatever the fuck they call it nowadays, does not turn off. And most Fords and Lincolns, those are always on. And so if you leave a Hive Mapper plugged in, it drained my battery all the way. It was a new battery, completely drained it down, could not be recharged. I had to,
Oh,
yeah. And so what they need to do is make just a little device that has like an accelerometer in it or something that when I move, it relay, I mean, it kicks off, it flips a relay, allows it to be powered, and then when I stop moving for a while, it turns it off so I don't end up with a dead fucking battery that costs me $1,000 all said and done on it. That's I mean,
They've sure, hopefully that does get added to this next model. They call it the B. It'll be
yeah.
interesting. They've learned a lot, but we'll
Yeah,
see
yeah,
how.
and they're not. I don't know. I like being in beta things. I like testing things out. I'm just saying I don't do a lot of driving, but I did make a little box that I can plug into that has a relay that allows me to only like links to accessory mode on my Lincoln.
Mhm.
So if you're in off, then it just trips that and doesn't power that.
Yeah, I probably watched your Helium Hacks Happy Hour Hive Mapper video about 5 or 6 times
Oh, yeah.
as I'm
That was a
researching
good
this
one.
stuff.
He was really good. He was really good on that show, man. And I had a good time on that episode. That was fun, man.
But yeah, as we're digging through this and looking for answers, I mean, that was so helpful.
Cool, man. Yeah, I had a good time. That was that was a fun episode. I haven't talked to him really. I need to hit him up and see what's going on, man. I know they've
Uh,
got
they've
like
had
several
quite
revisions out now. So
quite a few turnovers there, so I'm not sure they're. I don't know particularly about him, but I know a lot of people have departed.
yeah, so it goes, yeah. But no, I'd like to keep up with him regardless. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
But shoot, man. Austin, are you going to Austin? Any of you cats going for consensus?
nope. I don't make
No,
it
I don't.
anywhere anymore.
I rarely do. I rarely do. But I do like going to Austin, and it coincides with my wife's granny's birthday. So I don't know. We got a little Airbnb. Figured go there and eat some tacos. I don't know. I don't have a consensus ticket. I've never had a consent. Oh, I think I did one time, but I didn't go to any consensus events. Remember Tim from Hawaii? We snuck in. He was like the featured community person at Helium House Austin, and we snuck into a lot of consensus events, but because he didn't have a ticket, I think I had one. He's like, yeah, let's just act like we belong. I'm like, yeah, I'm good at that. Okay. So yeah, There's some because Lamina One just launched mainnet recently, right? And that's Neil Stevenson. I don't know if anyone's been following that, but Lamina One launched mainnet, and a buddy of mine, uh, Johnny, Dr. Johnny, I'll call him here, runs Alchemist Club Studios, and they're on the leaderboard of pretty much everything they're doing over at Lamina One. I guess they have different, I don't know, contests or things you can do to prior to the main net launching. But there's some interesting stuff, and he runs his own Discord. I saw him actually when I was up in New York these past 2 times. It's always great seeing him. But what up, Johnny? And some neat stuff. They just won apparently this contest for a design of like a pod or a capsule, and so someone's gonna actually do the Fusion 360 like full design, interior design. It's gonna be somewhere your avatar can go inside in the metaverse. So. And I believe Neil Stevenson has a new book out now too, or recently a new book. I have not read that, but I'm a big fan of the man. If that's something you're into. And
Yep. Snow Crash, the Cryptonomicron.
The Big U, Zodiac. Yeah, those are a couple.
Zodiac.
The Big U, yeah, Zodiac's a damn good one, man. But Diamond Age is one of the best, and especially for right now, like a young woman's illustrated primer. It's effectively about like a piece of technology that can transcend classes, can transcend like who your parents are, how you grew up. I mean, it talks about the beauty of education, of a very strong DIY. It's an incredible book. I have. If anyone likes audiobooks, I will purchase it for anyone who wants to read that, or I will mail you a paperback copy. I've given away so many copies of that book over the years. I think
what was the name?
The Diamond Age. It's fantastic.
Okay.
And what I do, and spread it around. But I pay for all my PDFs, all my like audiobooks, and then I remove the copy protection on them, and I put them online in a library, and I say, look, this is good faith. It's a lending library, so check it out, and just you click a button that says I checked it out. The button does nothing. It just says, hey, someone's checked it out. But you have full, just like if I bought a fucking book and it would be on my bookshelf, right? I mean, I paid the same money for it, and so I should be able to lend that just like I right. I mean, it has my name encoded in it, so don't go put it on like a leeching site or something. But you're more than welcome to borrow anything on my shelves. And if you go to hackster.rocks, that's a little Redmine site I have set up. I think I have signups open, and I've got a lot of books that follow those same guidelines that I just explained on there. That you're more than welcome to read. The Art of Electronics is a really damn good book, written from a very approachable angle. About electronics, about how shit works. A lot of the stuff that we talk about here, it's just a very. There was an interview I actually saw of the gentleman, and he's a little older now, but he was talking about the whole process of writing that, and but I think I have the 3rd edition up there, and it's definitely worth a read. I've got some physical copies here that you're more than welcome to come over and borrow from me directly as well. But yeah, that was a little spiel. I didn't mean that to last so long. But, yeah. Uh-oh, I think we.
I noted it down. It'll be worked into my bookshelf. I'll be reading it in the next like 8 years. Sometime.
Cool. Yeah, just go to.
I probably have like.
Yeah, let me see if I can do this.
Yeah, post a link or just send it to me in Discord.
that didn't work. I guess that was in the wrong.
Nah, I see it though.
Oh no, I got it down here. I can. Well, I was trying to see if I could. Ha! There we go.
Okay.
You can't click on it, I guess, but you know.
Right. I mean,
It's not,
I can
it's not
I
too
can
hard
type it
to
in.
type. Yeah. I got this other URL or this other the other day TLD for IoT. And I was kind of excited. I haven't done anything with it yet, but let's see if I can pull this up. What I was gonna do is set up just a like an email kind of service on it through Gmail, so you could have this TLD as an email. See if this comes up. It's IoT as .af. It's an Afghanistan TLD, which was kind of a pain getting that, and it's probably not going to get very good search SEO. But yeah, I got IoT.af.
Fucking funny.
So if anyone wants IoT as fuck, like email address, let me know.
Oh god.
Yeah, sometimes it's the dumb little things that you know keep things entertaining.
Oh yeah.
Well, shut.
So are you gonna set up? Are you gonna set up that
Taliban.
CBRS?
What's that?
Are you gonna set up the CBRS?
Yeah, I was going to. My buddy was supposed to hit me up, and here. Yeah, he just actually a minute ago hit me up. So yeah, I may be doing that now. So I guess we've been on for a while. I guess
Is that an outside gateway?
it's got an 11-foot IoT or 11-foot like LoRa antenna on the top of it, and and I don't want to hear shit about 11 dB. Anyway, yes, it's longer range. I know there's a reason for it, but it's also about 30 feet up. So I think I could hit the coast with it easy. You know.
Oh, dope.
Yeah, so there's reasons. But I'm gonna put just one of those bicells, like outdoor CBRSs up there, and then one of the Freedom Fi. I've got like I don't know. He's got power on the pole too, so I don't have to do like solar or anything. It's kind of nice.
Yeah, that's dope. What are they getting rewarded? I know that it got changed. I don't follow along enough. Dude, there's so many hips now. It's just like, oh my god.
Yeah, I
But
recently got
hopefully it
on
works out.
the IoT working group. And,
Oh,
yeah, I've been trying to. I don't know. I've been on all the calls. I've been trying to, be more engaged in the HIP process. But I don't know. There's a couple things I talked about in the past, and Jason, man, I know that work has interfered a little bit there, but I would like to talk about that BLE kind of like remote stuff
Yeah.
with you a little bit. That's something that
we need to make that happen. Hey, I'll be able to go tomorrow. I don't have to work tomorrow, so I'll be.
Tomorrow's a
in the working
holiday. I thought everyone was telling me that. Right.
group. Tomorrow's a holiday. Yeah.
Isn't there a community call though? So there may be the call. I don't
Should
know.
be, right? Maybe not. I mean, why would there be? Memorial Day. It's just a U.S. holiday.
It's
So.
global, mother. Yeah.
It's global.
Yeah, but BLE bridging would be a great little feature to add. Yeah.
Because I want to know how to write that better. I want to know how to, how to do like a remote OTA flashing and shit. And being able to do like BLE. I mean, plus I want to be able to onboard gateways without having to have someone else's wallet on the ground in 30-foot range or whatever of the fucking gateway in order to onboard something that I've paid for, like, whatever, to get drop shipped from a manufacturer or whatnot. I should be able to onboard that, I know it sounds like I guess I am complaining a lot tonight, but I don't know. I get cranky sometimes.
Hey, at least you're proposing solutions and working towards them.
I'm trying.
That's
Man.
more than you can say for the vast majority of people.
Okay, thank you, and I feel you, man. That means a lot because I do try. To at least get something there, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
I just want to see a blend of LoRa and Halo and like all the other 802.15.4 family, So that's it. I think it would be perfect then.
these are neat. If we can figure out the battery life on these are neat, man. Because I don't get a day with these, And I look kind of weird when I'm wearing a watch on both wrists, or I'm wearing two, and they're like, what the fuck does that dude up to, man? I don't know. But I think that there is a good use case for these, and basically it's just to bump test a sensor. So if I'm doing like spot checks on location, it's just a touch screen, and I can just swipe it, and it just sends a packet. It just hits my LNS whenever I swipe it, right? And so it knows where I'm at. I mean, it knows what's going on, and it's got Meshtastic on it. Word.
Sounds like the beginnings of a Pokemon game. You got to swipe to do something, or the battle out in the dojo maybe, or send packets to swipe, or I don't know.
Okay. Actually,
the feel
hold on.
of the game here.
Is that 67% charge? And I haven't touched this for a day and a half.
Yeah.
Okay.
They last a long time. Yep. They last a long.
No, these watches don't though. These watches, like the battery. So I don't know if they redid some battery like consumption, because there is a chip on board these that does support battery consumption monitoring, and I don't know if they incorporated that into the Meshtastics. That would be cool as fuck.
If you look in their code, if you look in Meshtastic code, there is a ton of the code is dedicated towards battery and power conserve.
Someone
they have
was
like
talking
different
about
code
this.
sets for different firmware code sets and different personality modules for each different device.
I've been playing with these. This is the TI chip. They're neat, and the energy harvesting chips, those TIs, they're neat, man. They're neat. I really want to make like just a Frankenstein switch type thing. Just like the act of opening a door gives me enough power to radio out about the fact that the door was opened. And that goes back to super caps, though, man. Them like what Rock is. I mean,
that's the one of the I'm like split amongst AI, fucking power consumption, and mostly like energy harvesting, or not energy well, it's hard to explain, but yeah, I'm big into the power and the AI, and then obviously the crop steering right now. Batteries are
all
crazy,
the things.
Dude. It's like,
no.
Always.
Nah, but the super caps are super interesting, dude. And like, I want to build a circuit that takes the benefit of like the slow charging, high power super cap and adds the capacity of a battery.
Okay.
Like I want to because like right now the way that like the WM dev board that I have, it doesn't work well. It doesn't work well when you're trying to utilize the PV, the battery, and the super caps like together for some reason. It just browns out, or it doesn't brown out. The power goes too low, and then it doesn't switch between the technologies until you hard reset it.
That I was asking if
maybe
that was browning out, if that's what was happening.
Maybe it's an ore. It's an ore. Yep.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
kind of went
I really
crazy.
want.
I
Or
was
the other.
driving
Yeah.
with George on this trip. We were up in, I don't know, New York, and he was driving, so I was on AliExpress ordering all of these fucking solar panels, man, like just little solar panels, man.
Yeah,
So I should
yeah.
have a grip of these coming in very soon. That should all play nicely with these TI chips. So, and some of the, because I've got a lot of cells or solar cells that are like 1 by 1 inch, right?
Yeah.
And, but they're only going to give me 1 volt, which is okay. But I've got these other ones that give me 5 out of a cell about, I don't know, like pretty small, like
Those,
about that big, about as big as a
yeah,
Zippo. Gives me
they work
5.
pretty good. Yeah, I
Um,
have one that's the size of a pack of cigarettes, and I can get 300 millivolts out of it at 5.5 volts, which
okay.
is pretty good. Like you can light up a bright LED, like single diode LED with that. So
Yeah, I need to work on my LED stuff. But oh, and also, like these things, man.
put it.
This is like a
Oh,
pressure
what?
sensitive button, like
Yeah.
a fabric button. And so I've got this, and it just the harder I press it, and so I just have something listening, and so if I push it real hard, that just like tipping my hat at someone, then I can send like the really hard command.
All right.
Otherwise, I could do just a tap. But so I'm really
Yeah,
really into hat science right now.
dude, it's actually kind of funny because I did like a proof of concept like privacy shield with like IR type stuff in a hat way
Yeah.
back.
Oh
Yeah,
shit.
yeah. So
Nice.
yeah, but
Have you
yeah,
read Lady Ada's paper that she did, her master's thesis, I believe, on like Privacy Shield, like IoT devices?
yeah.
It's good. I mean, I don't know. It's a little older, but it's no, it's definitely interesting and partially illegal. I mean, just be careful. When you're talking about jamming or any type of.
No, yeah. Obviously, anything you jam, you're gonna get in deep shit for, dude.
Well, and that's what's weird because okay, this ham radio show that I don't know that's awesome and everyone should watch. They've been talking lately about how often do people get popped by the FCC,
Right.
and they're like, you know what? They don't really. I'm not advocating anything here. I'm not advocating anything. Why
When
There's
they
no white
decide,
vans driving around.
when they decide
Trav.
yes, there is. If they decide to come get you, there definitely is a white van driving around.
No, there is, and
Yeah, there is.
I've had run-ins before. Yeah, but
Yeah. So I have a little story about jamming here. This is
okay.
probably back in 2013 when we do. So I was in the Marine Corps communications platoon, and at 5th Marines they had this gunnery sergeant who loved when we'd go out on training ops. He would jam any cellular service within the 30-40 foot radius of the command and COC, Command Operations Center, I think it stands for. But looking back on that now, nobody ever said anything. The cellular companies didn't say anything. But did he get away with it just because they know it's in the military on a base? But for just enlisted personnel to do that, just cause I don't think he scheduled that. I don't think he cleared that with anyone. So it's like kind of seems like breaking regulation.
No, I've heard that. I've heard that there's a Lex that's really going on just because people are scared because they've always heard it happens. The people get busted by the vans that try to literate us. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
But hey, if you say the F word, over military comms in a casual manner, if there's something going wrong, nobody's going to care. But like if it's just casually blurting out certain, same things you couldn't say on the radio, you can get fined for that.
Oh wow!
They'll fine units $50,000 for those type of violations.
No way.
Like George Carlin.
In the service?
Yes, yes.
No way. Like a soldier would have to pay $50,000 for saying fuck.
No, the unit
Oh,
may have to pay it. But
Okay,
it has to be
tune in to 700. It's 700 megahertz and just broadcast fuck.
I mean, it has to be a very egregious offense. Normally, you
Right.
get a warning the first time around, and you get what's called a non-punitive letter of caution if it's your first time.
How do you know that? No, no, just
Yeah.
Hey, I received one at one time.
Yeah, we've all got that good warning at one point or another in life.
Yep.
Oh God. All right, yo guys, I gotta go. I got kiddos
Yeah.
starting
Cool,
to
man.
chase me down.
All right.
Yeah,
All right.
hey,
Take care.
hey, man, it's been a pleasure. Hey, it was nice catching up with everyone, and I guess we can call it a night. But adios, and I'll see you on the internet.
All right. Take
Later.
care.
Folks, bye.
See you.
Packets on packets on packets on packets on packets. Got packets on 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 packets. Got packets on 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 packets. Got packets on packets on packets on packets on packets on packets on.
Put in the F around and you find out.